Welcome back. Welcome back. What's up, everyone? It is Thursday morning, a little bit different than what we usually do programming wise. But welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's your boy Frankie. Today, Jonah is not with us. He is busy doing some family stuff. So, uh, still, nonetheless, go ahead and check out all his stuff that he has going on with NM Prepco Sports over at Substack. I know that he's been working really hard. He's got some new releases on his all NM Prepco Sports rosters for basketball, boys and girls. Some controversy there that happened, some questionable selections on certain things, but hey, I don't tell that man what to do, and it's a good take. That's what we do, is do good takes. So I'm excited for the episode today. I have a little bit of a surprise. We are going to get into more NMSU athletics. We're going to get into some golf. We're going to get into baseball, softball, and some golf. I think we're gonna cover some golf real good today. So stick around. If you go into the description, if you're the skimmer and you like to just select where to go next or whatever, go ahead and do that. The links will be on the description. Please let us know what's up. Put something in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that. But let's get started with the show today. I want to present to you guys one of my buddies. He keeps busy. He's not from Cruces, so we're extending ourselves a little bit further. Still the Dirty South nonetheless. He's a great friend of mine, graduated from New Mexico State. Met him when I was at NMSU. I obviously graduated from a different school, unfortunately, so I'm not even an Aggie alum. If you didn't know that, well, now you know. But we do have with us an Aggie alum and in a rival, a bit of a rival with us today. Javyn,
Uh,
what's up, man?
how's it going, Frankie? Thank you for having me. I
Oh,
appreciate the
of
time
course.
and opportunity
Yeah,
to
man,
join you.
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah,
You have a different perspective. We've had some beef in the past with people from Artesia. You guys are a different breed. Uh, one school for the entire city, and
mhm.
right, for the most part, there's like a prep school or something where kids kind of can go to school somewhere else but still play for Artesia. But nonetheless, you can tell when a bulldog with a Bullbogs, because we're the
Right.
bulldogs, right? Around
Yeah,
here
I
we got
know. I know.
bulldogs. But you know when a bulldog in that orange walks in the door, you know that they're from Artesia. So happy to have you, man.
Awesome. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate that. No,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
it's a definitely different air in from Artesia and then in Cruces too. But that's definitely the oil for sure, and the
Yeah. Well,
refinery.
the exactly. I was gonna say I lived in Hobbs for a little bit, and I was like, it smells kind of funny around here, and they're like, it smells like money. And I was like, oh, excuse me,
Yeah,
excuse
for
me.
sure. Yeah, no, Artesia's very blessed in that way.
Yeah,
Just to have a big old refinery right in the middle of town. And you say city, but it's still a town. We're pretty small still, so don't don't let the big A, kind of shed the light of just still us being a small community, just being together, really. So
together and forming some great athletes. You are a coach of a lot of things. You coach golf. You coach basketball. We didn't get to see each other at the tournament, but you were there, and I saw you
yes,
off the distance doing your thing. I mean, Artesia's always great at football. That's where the beef kind of started because I started talking about
yeah,
if there should be one place for the state championship for football, and somehow the viewers of Artesia made it to our Facebook groups and our Instagram posts and are like, you guys
yeah.
are idiots. So, but you're coaching. Tell
Well,
us what you're coaching at Artesia.
I ended up coaching the junior high basketball and football. and then I am a coach as well here. So, but fortunately, our varsity staff lets us help them. For football, Friday nights we get to go help them as well, and as for basketball as well, we get to go. And so, yeah, no, ended up going to the pit. With this special senior group we have for basketball, and honestly for every sport, basketball, football, and then of course right now baseball, and then and a little bit of golf too. We got a good athletes there from this senior class, but yeah, no, it's been a very big blessing in getting into the realm of coaching and coming back to my own hometown. I graduated from Artesia, and so uh, honestly, just enjoying every minute of it. Just kind of seeing the comparisons of when I went to school versus how it is done today, and
Yeah.
different things like that, and still having our head coaches kind of as guides or advice givers, for younger coaches and for new coaches that kind of come in here and and really don't know what Artesia is about a little bit, and so yeah, like I said, Artesia is a very special place. And going back to your all's beef or whatever, there's just some that really die hard Artesians. You know what I mean? And with the state game and all that, how NMA does all that kind of stuff, it's hard. You can't please everyone, and that's just a big deal and big fun topic. It should be a fun
Yeah.
topic to announce too. Obviously, I'm gonna stick with our guns. Of course, our football stadium you know,
First
is
class.
yeah,
First
it is
class.
yeah first class. Nothing really can compares to it. Um, it's just a special dynamic that old people before me just thought, oh, let's dig a hole out and call it the Bulldog Bowl and put the football field down there so that everyone can see. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a pretty special and unique way, of how people before us that kind of made those decisions for us.
Yeah, no, for sure. Different perspective, right? Because in Cruces, we have the Field of Dreams and
Mhm.
Oregon Mountain, Mayfield, Cruces, Centennial. I think Mesilla Valley might use it every once in a while. They have their own area for football. It's not a full stadium, but they have their own venue, right? So that means that there's four schools that are playing varsity games in one place, right? So when you talk about, oh, let's go somewhere else to play state, uh, this year the Las Cruces Bulldogs were the number one seed and they had to go and play in Albuquerque for the championship, right? And
Mhm.
so, I mean, it is what it is. You always have to change things around. And so that's why the conversation came up of like, why don't we just do one place, right? For basketball, it's awesome because everybody's in one place. You have to like hurry up and get in and out for the
Right.
games because there's a game right after you. So if you could have that same feel for football, can you imagine how dope that would be? Just like the atmosphere of like the cheering and the excitement. Not every year is it that you guys are going to go back and forth with Roswell. So let it be
I
one time. Just wait until Artesia gets the one seed and they got to go play in like let's just say Albuquerque, or you guys got to come down further south and you have to play a number four seed that
Mhm.
you could say it didn't earn home field advantage and you got to play a state championship away from home. All of a sudden, maybe UNM Stadium isn't as bad.
Right.
So
Yeah, and
circumstances, you guys don't want that to
mm,
change.
no, yeah, and again, like it is what it is. You have your input,
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, you just gotta go play. You know what
yeah,
I mean? No matter what, we take a trip. Before the game. We're in the town. The day before. You know what I mean? And so, like at the end of the day, you just gotta play. Um, and so I know Roswell and Artesia have been going at it for a few years now, especially in the state
yeah.
championship. So it's just you know it, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It's cool.
But
It's cool.
yeah,
I,
it
you know,
is.
I I wish it was like that down here, right? Where Cruces and Mayfield for a long time they were going back and forth, and Centennial has been really good for years now. I mean,
Hmm.
they have. There's a bunch of guys that have come from Centennial that are playing at the D1 level, that are playing at the next level in different capacities. So they've been really competitive as well. Where that's what we want to create. So thanks for joining in on the help of being able to create some buzz and stuff like that. But enough of
For sure.
Artesia. Enough of Artesia. I know we'll
Yeah.
get into a little bit more, but where we really connected was at NMSU, and we were always big fans of sports. I was a seminarian when I met you there, and I was
Hmm.
assigned. But always, I mean, we could go to the football games, the tailgates, NMSU athletics is special as well, right? Obviously, that's why you chose to go to NMSU and not UNM. And today we're going to get into a little bit more of the New Mexico State athletics. So I I don't know if you know this, Javyn, but one of our first, almost day one, affiliates and sponsors of A Mountain Echo and Campus Sports Media has been Surf and Turf. Taylor Artman is a great friend of mine, and he has been gracious enough to allow us to have a really sweet deal. So if you're watching this right now, tuning into some top, golf talk with Surf and Turf Golf, you have a 20% off discount code that you could go on, and you could scan the QR code right there, or just go on to surfandturfgolf.com and shop around, put in the promo code ECHO, and you get yourself 20% off, and you get a hat like this. So all kinds of cool stuff
Frankie,
that we can do.
yes, I'm going to scan it right now.
Scan,
I'm not going
scan it.
to. I could use any golf apparel for sure. So I'm
Yes,
definitely
sir.
scanning
And I mean, I used to work for Surf and Turf. I was laughing at before we started that I helped make this hat, and it looks a little bit off. And so if you're looking at me like, what's wrong with Frankie's hat? The design was a little bit off and centered, and so, but man, I love those guys. I love what they're doing. I think they're in St. Louis right now. They sponsor a couple sections. They do North Texas. I think they do Central Texas as well. They do the
that.
section in Oklahoma, and so they right now are meeting with a bunch of vendors. And what they do predominantly is sell to golf courses. They sell to country clubs around the country, and they'll get a hat just like this, the one you could buy online, and then they just customize your whatever golf course you're at. They kind of customize it, color coordinate it. It's really cool. Uh, yeah, so I was blessed enough to meet some of those guys, meet the founders and stuff. So they've been supporting us for a little bit, and they're presenting us with golf talk, and we've been doing it for a little bit. But it's golf season, man. The weather's getting warmer. I went out and I played on Sunday. I had a terrible front nine at NMSU. I shot a 55, bro, 19 over in 9 holes. How do you even do that? I could have
I
just
don't
brought
think
out
you
my
should be
wedge.
I don't think you should be announced that on this interview here or
It's okay.
podcast.
The only reason why I announced that is because my back nine, I went 7 over. So, that's a
Right.
little
And
better.
then,
That's a lot better.
yeah, you warmed up. And that's the crazy thing about golf. Is just you get it on a hot streak. You start focusing in, you dialing it in. And it may take you the first 9 holes, like you said.
Yeah.
But eventually, and again, that back nine is what's gonna keep you playing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's just the glory of golf.
I didn't want to leave. I was like, bro, let's just run it
Exactly.
back. Uh, what messed me up really bad was the first hole. I quadruple bogeyed. I went
Dang, and
hard
that's
left. I went hard left, hit a tree, and I think I duffed my approach. So I was on in like six, and then I two putted. So not the worst, but it was just, bro,
right.
golf can just get away from you, man. One hole can
That's
really mess up your day.
and especially with hole number one at NMSU, I imagine nothing has changed since I played it when we're in college, but like it's just a straight shot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's the crazy thing too. I'm sure it was like since the par four, probably like 400, 500 yards. You know what I mean? Or probably 400. But like, it just take it takes three shots. And, you don't even have to use a driver. Isn't necessary to get a par. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like two 6 irons. You know, you're maybe on, or you're just chipping on. One putt and you've got par. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's the thing about golf is that there's so many intriguing ways, to your golf swing, to the lie you have, to just to the clubs you have, like that's just the interesting part of golf, man. That like
Yeah.
you question yourself.
And sometimes pride gets in the way because there's no need for a drive. I don't need to pull out my driver right now. I'm hitting it well. I can use an iron, and I just do what I got to do, right? But then you pull out your
Mhm.
driver. It's like, but I could get up and down and get a birdie on the first hole. I mean, come on. If that's a possibility, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
When you're
sure.
coaching some of these kids at Artesia and your golf team, and you're helping them, are you going through like course management with them? Is there like a start of the season you kind of go over it and then continue throughout the season? Do you guys go? How does that work? I never played golf in high school.
Yeah, so our official kind of start is in February. So that month of January, we get all our golfers in that are not playing, another sport or whatever. And it's about those days because the weather's still kind of not great. There's some good days, some days where you just can't go play. And some of those days that you just don't play, you start talking about situations. You start talking about, um, the rules of golf. Because these are some brand new kids and they don't know as much. And so you just start talking about different things. Trying to hit your foundational things of golf. You know what I mean? Um, and so yeah, as those newer players, then you have the JV players, and then of course the varsity players, where again varsity players a little different. Then you can start going into more depth, of different conversations of kind of the different lies you have, the different choices, that you ultimately have. But at the end of the day, too, it's about what the kid can do, and getting the kid, to understand that. Like, just because he sees something before doesn't mean, he can try it out the first day, or try it out in a tournament. It takes a lot of time and a lot of repetition, to have something solid in your bag, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, we just talk, it's just talking about those foundations, big thing is rules, right? The rules of when we go into tournaments, and things like that. And so, um, as the year progresses, or even during tournaments, when we have like a tournament, like debrief, that's when we kind of talk a little bit about like what situations were kind of, you know, were a little weird, like what rulings that you had to do within your group, just different things like that. And so that's kind of where we start talking about what you could have done differently and different things like that.
And golf is so unique because you have to rule yourself, right? There's no ref, there's no umpire. It's yourself.
Mm.
If you ground your club when you're in a sand trap or whatever, you kind of it's an honor system essentially. So is there at the high school level, are there people that are following and making sure that they're scoring correctly or that they're following the rules for the most part? I know it's hard to do it all the time, but is that on the coaches? Does NMAA, when it's a sanctioned event, do they have people that go out there? I don't know.
So so in just regular tournaments, like in our regular season right now, our varsity season kind of just started. It's really on the players. It's
Okay.
the people in the group to keep everyone accountable, to keep everyone shot honest, and different things like that. And then you hear a lot of things, right? And of course coaches are out there and we watch strokes and we want to be with our players and kind of talk to them a little bit if they're in a rough patch. But at the end of the day, it's on the players to make sure, that everyone is being honest. And if someone's not, or if we have to count strokes, at a hole with someone, then that's fine. But there's a wrong way to do it and a right way to do it for sure.
Hmm.
And um, so yeah, so it really is on the players. We use it. There's a golf app. It's I Want to Maker. There's you can press it for a ruling, and then of course the coaches will go there and see what the situation is. Um, and then of course you just attest your scores on there as well.
Oh, okay. Is
So if
that something
there's
that you guys use, or is that something that all the high schools use? So would like
all
the schools around here, would they use that?
no, so it's NMAA
Okay.
sanctioned, and so yeah, so all schools use it. Actually, every tournament, you use the I Want to Maker, even at the state tournament as well. And then going back, at the state tournament, it's a little different. You have a lot more spotters, but it's still on the players to, if there is, you know, um, kind of a discrepancy with the score or with a ruling, right? That's when a ruling committee kind of comes into play. And honestly, there's ruling committees for each course. Like the pros at each, that's at the course and things like that, and they'll kind of go in and look and see what the actual rule is and make sure everyone is kind of squares out. So,
Okay.
but it's just about agreeing and disagreeing and kind of and doing it in a organized manner, right? Again, like I said, it's a like you said, it's definitely an honor system, you know, through and through. You know what I mean? And so, um, actually, it's funny that you say that. I was looking at this PGA Tour um, tournament that just happened, and I can't, or not happened, but I was watching um, the Full Swing documentary on Netflix,
Oh,
and I
okay.
can't remember the name of this golfer that he was honest, about touching the sand in a bunker. And I can't remember his name. I have to look him up. Um, but again, no one catches him. You know, not even the camera. Like the camera doesn't catch him or anything like that. But he ends up saying like, "Hey, I touched the sand. It may
Sheesh.
be a little bit of a hair, something like that. But like, you know, but like he comes out clean. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of thing you need from all your golfers. You know what I
Bro,
mean?
that's
Because
that's such a, I mean, so honorable, right? But at that level, that's the difference between millions of dollars. I'm sure if he's on Full Swing, I don't know who it is, but if he's on Full Swing, he doesn't have to worry about his PGA card. But
yeah,
you know, um,
yeah.
these are guys' livelihoods, and it's just part of the game where you just have to be honest about your score, about what you've done. I mean, even if you, let's say you go out of bounds, even where you say that your drop is where the ball went out, you're standing maybe 200 yards away from where it exited. It's up to you, and
Mhm.
only you can say where that ball exited. Even your playing partner can be like, no bro, you're 50 yards back. If you say it was right here, it is what it is. So it's just so unique because you are your own referee and your own, if you can sleep at night, fine, be it. um but it's, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I haven't watched, is
Mhm.
it the newer season of Full Swing?
I think it's the recent one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Haven't
So,
seen it.
yeah, no, I was just watching it the other day, and I thought that was interesting. But yeah, like I said, I mean, golf is just an honor system. You know what I mean? And it's about morals and all that kind of stuff too. So,
It's a good analogy for life, golf is, because when you're having a hard time on the course, nothing really ever matters, and just kind of the perseverance and the mindset and the honesty, everything. It is a really good, most sports are a good analogy for life, but golf in particular, just uh, a little bit more on just how you manage when things aren't going right. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mhm.
easy for you to try a lot harder and swing a lot harder and try to be a hero and get yourself out of a tough spot, and you just make it worse, right? Where a lot of times you have to consider, where do I want to be next, and how do I eliminate as much damage as possible. So it's cool.
Yeah.
But hey, let's get into some NMSU golf. You said you had some notes that you had looked into. I have both women's and the men pulled up. Is there one in
Hmm.
particular you want to start with?
No, whatever. No, the women's, men's. I'm good for whatever, Frankie. Whatever
We're,
you pull
we're,
up,
we're gonna do
I'll
both here, but let's get started with the men. We've been okay. I feel like we're just kind of middle of the pack with
yeah.
with a team, at least a team effort here. Last week we went to Tucson to the Arizona Thunderbird Invitational, and we shot two over, tied for eighth place. Let me pull up the leaderboard here and stop me whenever you have any more information. I didn't really look into how we played individually here, but
Hmm.
all I know is that we were a stroke away from beating UTEP, and I don't know where we could have found a stroke or two, but
Or even
yeah,
even with what's it called, NMS or UNM. You know what I mean? Up there too,
I'm trying to take out.
right?
Dang, I can't take these ads out. My bad. Yeah, UNM was up here too. Where are they? No, I
Right
think that
there.
was the women. Am I going
No, right
crazy?
there. No, go up. Right, they got number six. There's or
Oh,
there you go.
gotcha. I see him. My bad.
Yeah,
This ad
with a
is getting
minus
in.
10, which is impressive.
Yeah, -6. But now, if you look here, the only day they shot 10 under on the last day,
Yeah.
bro. That's crazy.
Yep.
But I mean, a solid day. They only shot two over or three over, but only shot over par one of the days. And I noticed that I mean, we started the last day six over, so it was more of a comeback. We were able to figure out how to get back into at least some contention here. It looks like what 14
Right.
teams, so seriously, like right in the middle here. So that's kind of what our the story of our lives have been recently. Did you
Right.
look into some of the individual guys?
I did. What's it called? I know Ethan Close. I know he's kind of their number one golfer right now. That it seems like, um, and that he's had multiple top finishes and kind of just leading the pack for them. It does seem like these newer tournaments that Jackson Funkhauser, oof, man names, Jackson Funkhauser and Kostak Horno. I think that's how I have his name. Yeah, Horno.
There's some tough
Uh,
names. They're all international students, so
dude,
they're
I
tough.
know, and it's so cool. But like, I think that's the four. Um,
Funhauser's from College Station, so never mind.
yeah, and Javier. So, but I know Ethan, and then of course Javier have played in these last four tournaments. Um, you know, kind of helping them out as well. Mateo Payan, as him too. He's played in the last four. I think those are the solid three. I know they play with five golfers each tournament, um, and so it seems like the five would be the Ethan, Javier, Mateo, Jackson, and then Kostak. So we'll see with this next tournament. I think their next tournament's March 31st, and see who they go with, who the coaching staff goes with, and things like that. But for me, again, just looking at scores, I didn't personally look at any swings or kind of how they did, or the conditions of the course. I think Ethan Close is kind of the number one with Javier, and then Mateo kind of being right there as well, kind of trading off, top scores for the each tournament and things like
Yeah,
that. So
looks like Javier and Koska, I think is how you'd say his first name, Koska. They were 43, both tied for 43 there. I don't know what this. Oh, that's the positioning. Okay. Yeah, they both played pretty similarly, but I did notice that Mateo this time around was our top performer.
Hmm.
Where was he? There. Yeah, Mateo. He shot two under and really saved his card or the weekend at the end there. I'm guessing it was super windy because if you look just across the board, everyone had some pretty rough numbers. And then you see some really low scores on that last day. So I bet you it was. I mean, obviously you've played it 3 times already. Oh my, I forgot my numbers. Once you play something three
Yeah.
times, you play the course, you understand like where you want to go, and that course management of course helps, so
Hmm.
you learn your lessons and so you play better. But I'm willing to bet the weather was a lot nicer on is it Sundays that they no they don't play Sundays, but it's on the third day, the third
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so, but yeah, no, I think like you said, I think they're still figuring things out. And I think everyone's kind of even, right? Because like I said, I know Ethan, he had been had in the last four tournaments. I know he's been their top golfer in two tournaments, and things like that. And um, so again, it's like you said, they're just middle of the pack. I think they definitely could use a step, whatever that step being, kind of to push forward and kind of take it to the next level. Whatever that could be. You know what I mean? And so,
I wonder how that dynamic works because obviously you get recruited to go play in college and you have a coach, but golf is such a unique sport where everybody is kind of has their own style, their own way of preparation. I wonder how much hands-on they are with some of these guys and tweaking the way they swing. I assume that you choose a school depending on the coach and his coaching style anyways, but yeah, the head coach for the men's golf is Mark Dirks, and in
mhm.
I haven't heard much about him, but he's been with New Mexico State for 12 years now. So actually now 13, 14, 15 years he's been an Aggie. He was, yeah, he came, let's see. Yeah, they won the WAC a couple times. They were one of the best teams in the nation. I'm just reading his bio right now, but I mean,
Mhm.
we New Mexico State's interesting because we got good weather. We got the PGM, the program. So you got guys that are attracted to coming here and playing. But yeah, this year, it is what it is. They're out there playing. Uh, we'll see how it goes.
Right. Yeah, and I see it. And again, with three other guys, I mean, Mateo, Jackson, and Kostak, um, they're all freshmen. You know what I mean? And so, which again, not necessarily means anything for college level, but again, the future seems kind of bright with
Yeah,
them. Of course, Ethan being a senior, Javier being a junior as well. And um, and just filling in some pieces. And again, I think that's what um, what you kind of need from as the coaches. And yeah, and I'm as a coach myself, like for high school, I I would love to see what they do, like how hands on are they really, because of course like golf is not really a hands on type of, or it's just a different types of coaching compared to
yeah.
other sports.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I would be interested to see. I know they end up making the final decisions on who goes to tournaments, of course, and kind of like who's been playing good, who's not, things like that. So, um, but again, at the end of the day, if your name gets called to play in one of these tournaments, then hopefully you can back it up a little bit because again, like you said, there's or like I said, there's three freshmen that are ready to fill in those spots for sure
Hopefully we can
from the other players.
hopefully we can keep them. I don't know how intense NIL is with golf,
Yeah,
but that's one thing where it's like, okay, you have a really good player, you have a really good guy with a good stick, and then they go somewhere else. So we'll see.
yeah,
Uh,
no, for sure. And that's a different world too.
Different world for
For
sure. But let's get into women's golf here.
okay.
And I mean, speaking of NIL and different opportunities, even as an amateur, you're able to make money anyways. So I bring that up because Emma Bunch, whenever we were talking about you joining in, one of
Mm,
the first person I mentioned was Emma, and just the things that she's accomplished already in her career in golf, playing at Augusta, being the first amateur to make the cut. That was last year, so that's big. A lot of people who are like, "Oh yeah, golf isn't that great." It's like we have someone who's done some really cool stuff here. Alex Armendariz. She graduated from Centennial, and every time I go in to watch a basketball game at Centennial, right when you exit to the left, they have a big banner for their state championship that they won, and she had a big part in that. So that's someone that
yeah.
is homegrown here in Las Cruces that is representing New Mexico State now, and they're representing Centennial and the city. So I've honestly tuned in a little bit more into what's happening with the girls and or the women than I have with the men. But
Hmm.
again, same thing. We did really well back in October, but the season
Yeah.
truly started, or this season started in February. They've had a couple tournaments so far. They went over to Hawaii. Come on, take me
Hey,
with you.
good. You
And
can't
they're
complain about playing in Hawaii.
that'd be nice, man. Have you played some golf in Hawaii before? Have you
I
gone
have.
to Hawaii?
I won. I don't remember the course. Um, the island we were on, it was Kauai. And it was beautiful, man. It's just so green. You know, I, you know, here, I don't really know what much of a greener course than you can get than in Hawaii for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I've never been, but
But yeah,
let's
I
see. Let's see what we got
for
here.
me
Plus
recently
33.
with yeah, yeah, and that's honestly, again, like I said, I think
That's
they're still
everyone.
finding themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, no, that's everyone. I think they're finding them too, but I also think there's a lot of comparison with the guys too. Like there's um, what's it called? They're just in the middle of the pack. I think again, still needing to take a step forward in a direction that, of course, the coaches, Danny Bowen probably knows that Danny Bowen being the head coach. Um, you know, I think it was a crazy thing to me was that for me on the girls' side, uh, and again I name pronunciation. Hopefully I pronounce it right. But Riley Salome, she's a freshman there. She's from Tome, New Mexico. She played for Berlin last year. I remember watching her at the state golf tournament. She ended up winning it for the girls. And she's she's a really good athlete. She has a beautiful swing. And it was pretty cool to watch her uh, play last year and see her at NMSU. You know, so so yeah, so she's honestly having a really good start as a freshman. You know
Yeah,
what I
good for
mean?
her.
So yeah, so she's I think been in the top three for her team in these last three tournaments, the spring tournaments. Um, you know, and then overall with the team, I think again, like I said, I think they're trending in the right direction when looking at their first tournament versus their last tournament as well. And so it just again it's not about how you start right now, right? It's about how you kind of keep progressing and seeing some growth every tournament.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, no.
I guess I didn't notice that yeah, she's from New Mexico.
Hmm.
She's four-time state champion for 4A out of Belen, four-time
Hmm.
PGA Junior Girls Champion qualifier, USGA Girls qualifier. I mean, yeah, I mean she's got some accolades to her name.
For sure. Yeah, no,
Two times
she's
Sun County, two times Sun County. So talking about sections, right, on how all that works. Two times she
yeah,
was Player of the Year for Sun County.
yeah. So yeah, I know it was like I said, it was pretty cool to watch, and just to give her a good shout out here for sure. Um, was a cool thing. Um, but yeah, Emma Bunch, man, she seems like she's the real deal for sure. I believe she's from Denmark,
Hmm.
um, and so that's pretty cool, man. That she is all the way over here, in Cruces, playing and hopefully having fun with it, for sure. And then Sophia Luna, one of our other golfers, Marley Mancala that got two tournaments in these last three, and then Isabel Lahui, um, playing in this last third tournament as well. So, and then of course the girl that you said was Alexandria Amendadas, and so those six have played in these last three tournaments for them. Um, So again, I think especially in the early season, just trying to figure out who's playing well, who's kind of trending in the right direction as well. And um, so yeah, but that's kind of as much as I wanted or could tell from just stat wise, just again just being in the middle of the pack, and then and just with Riley kind of being right there as well
Yeah,
with Emma
yeah. No, thank
Bunch.
you for that. From all the things that we're doing and basketball, uh, you you were always asking like, hey, how can I help? How can I do stuff? That was awesome. If you just hopefully you continue to help us, and you're always welcome to come in every week if you want to. And
Yeah.
the first time it's a little bit longer. I told you we said it was gonna be a little bit shorter. 42 minutes in and
Yeah.
talking golf. But as it gets in, it's like, okay, we know who they are. We can get into it. I appreciate that. It's helpful just to get a different perspective and just be able to just see what's going on there because, uh, yeah, these girls play well. It's huge to be able to play golf at the collegiate level. So I appreciate you being able to give them a better spotlight there. And I mean, the season's almost over, bro. Uh, April 7th is their next tournament. And then the Conference USA Championship is April 20th. So
Hmm.
it's coming in quickly.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, and I think a good goal, for the girls side would just be getting under 300 every round. I think they keep getting over that 300 mark. That really hurts them at the end. So,
Yeah, what did they finish this time? Oh, let me pull it up.
they finished plus, or
Oh,
this last one they finished plus 33, and so they
so
shot at
298.
885. Well, for the
Yeah,
3 rounds,
right.
885. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I
Huh.
think, I think again, like just looking at it in the general, just I think that would be a common goal. Just to try to keep the under 300s, and then of course, kind of comparing it to like kind of the leaders, and what they're shooting, what they're scoring. I think was very interesting to me, right? Because I've only focused on high school golf, and so I don't necessarily really know, all about the college or collegiate level. And so I think that was what I found very interesting when I started looking up NMSU golf and things like that.
Yeah, that is cool. I always look at the scores, and I guess I never really compare them to like what am I comparing them to? Because you look at the PGA and what they're able to do, but that's just so different than the collegiate
Mm-hmm.
level, and then us being mid-major. I don't know if we're considered a mid-major, lower major because of the PGM program. If we're a little bit more prestige in that sense. But
Right.
I know USC is always good. Arizona State's always good. Oklahoma. There's wherever it's warmer. It seems like all the warmer areas, the schools that are located in the desert are typically a little bit more. They're winning a little bit more often. So yeah.
For sure.
But for high school, what's the next tournament that you guys? Where's Artesia heading to next?
Our so we're actually gonna go do our state preview. So our state for 4A is in Socorro,
Okay.
and so we're gonna go next Monday. Well, we'll go up Sunday, but we'll go play that course up in Socorro on Monday.
Okay.
So
Cool.
and again, I don't know much about it. You know, it'd be my first time as well. Gonna be up there and see kind of what kind of map it out and kind of go from there. Definitely learn the course more so that we're ready in May.
Nice. So May, it's around the same time as baseball state championship. I think if I remember correctly, uh,
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
have a good.
So state golf would be that Monday, Tuesday, and then state baseball would be that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I
Okay.
think. So,
I went last year to the girls softball state championship because Centennial was playing in it. It
hmm.
was they were going for the repeat, and they hadn't lost a game since the last time they had won state. So they just lost their first game, but it had been since I think either 2023 or 24 since they had even lost a game. And so they were going for a second consecutive undefeated season. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go check them out. Never mind that I was also there because my family was there for the Boots in the Park.
Yeah.
But Centennial, I went for you. No. It was
Oh
dope.
wow.
I went in the morning. I went in the morning, took pictures. It was really cool. I missed like half the day at Boots in the Park, but it was honestly watching baseball was so much more softball. Just being out in the field was a lot more fun. I did see Luke Combs the next day, so that was pretty cool. But I
Yeah.
prefer to be doing stuff like that than I am to be standing in the heat, just waiting for someone to play music. I don't know. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. But with that being said, wrapping up with golf talk. Thank you, Surf and Turf, for that. Appreciate y'all. Let's touch really quickly into some baseball. I know stretching you out here a little bit.
Yeah.
There's been some really good games that have happening. I don't know how familiar you are even with your area. I know, Carlsbad isn't too far away, Hobbs isn't too far away, Roswell, that Bison, what do they call the what do they call that area? Not Bison. I guess just like the east coast of New Mexico and all that
Hmm.
good oil
The
field
Permian Basin.
country. There it is. Yeah. Say that again.
Yeah, I got you. Permian Basin in Odessa.
Permian Basin. Yeah, and then it just kind of like stretches out more. When I lived in Hobbs, obviously it's a bit closer to Texas, but you see all the Texas trucks around there. Anyways, uh, just real quick, just because baseball is heating up, I apologize not covering a little bit more of this. Jonah and I are getting ready to start giving ourselves schedules to go in and watching these games a little bit more often. But just yesterday, the the Oregon Mountain Knights, who have been doing really well all season, they lost their doubleheader to Hobbs yesterday, uh, 2-0 and then 8-6. However, earlier in the season they were able to beat Hobbs, so this is a split series situation here. So that's a quick shout out to them. Oregon Mountain losing earlier this weekend. Carlsbad is a team that does really good every year. I'm sure you know about that, Javyn,
Hmm.
being in Artesia. How do you guys do against Carlsbad? Do you know? Do you ever keep up with them? Uh,
No, and baseball's a little not on my mind, just with golf and
yeah,
everything. But I know we definitely make it competitive. Again. like I said, our golf program, we won state last year. Um, you know, and again, we have a strong senior class. And so we'll definitely for sure um, make everything kind of competitive right now, especially in golf as well. Um, but
And you
against
guys are up there at the
Carlsbad,
same time, right?
mhm.
You guys are up there at the same time, so you travel together. Probably. Do you guys have like little parades that send out the teams out? Do they do that together? I guess it's not at the same time,
Yeah, not at the same time, but because for golf we'll leave that Sunday,
right?
and so we have send offs though for every team that's going to state, things like that. So
Cool. Well, you guys came down. Oh no, actually, Alamogordo went up. Alamogordo went up to Artesia, and I mean, you guys put in some work there, 10-0. So
mhm.
shout out to y'all for that one. And here it is. This is what I was talking about here. Oregon Mountain did beat Hobbs in a pretty close one here, 7-6. And then Lovington is just also another one that's close by, 11-0 there. Mayfield lost to Cathedral, and then Gadsden beating Clint out there. What else? Mayfield, yep, putting in some work, and yep, see that Carlsbad, man, they're really good. Centennial did beat Carlsbad though. There's a big tournament down here. It's called the Southern New Mexico Invite, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I think Artesia did come down for that one. I know Carlsbad came down. There was a bunch of schools that came down here. It was during the state tournament for basketball. So we weren't able to cover it. I would have loved to because you just have everyone in one place. But Centennial did win
Mhm.
that tournament and they beat Carlsbad in it. And I can't remember the score, but I remember the post that they made and
Yeah,
it was a little bit vulgar, and I sent it to Trey Gonzalez, who does like media stuff for Carlsbad, and he's like, "Bro, what the heck, man?" As
yeah,
I won't repeat the words that it said, but I was just like, "Oh yeah, man, I apologize. I didn't make this. I had to clarify because a lot of times we share stuff with different
yeah,
schools. I was like, bro, I didn't make it. I'm sorry, my bad." But yeah, um, Gadsden is always a school that does really well. I've always talked they have really good pitching always. Some of the management
Mhm.
and getting offense going is something that they struggle with. And because they're in the same district as, the Mayfields, the Centennial, the Cruces, they do have a hard time being competitive. They're going to be moving down to 4A, if not yeah, 4A, I believe. So they'll be playing with teams, you know, in with a more of an equal uh, playing field, if I without being mean, just
Right.
it's just different. It is different playing a 5A school and a 4A school. When you're that small, resources are different. So
Mhm.
that's baseball. Let me get into some softball and then we'll wrap up here. uh, we we have, well, this is tomorrow, so let me just do a summary of the weekend. Mayfield has been doing great. Mayfield is a team that beat Centennial, so Mayfield gave Centennial their first loss in years. I mean, some of these girls
Wow.
have been going their whole entire career without losing a softball game. Think about that. So Mayfield is someone to look out for. They've really been leaving their mark in not only our district but for the state. So really excited to see that. Hopefully we can have a Las Cruces dominated state tournament for softball, and then we can have some fun out there in Albuquerque come May. And then we had Centennial, who's continuing to do well, 9-4, 7-2 against Carlsbad. That was a road trip that happened on Friday, and yeah, I think that's enough there. Gadsden doing some work there. Now we're going way, 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 way back. But this here is that loss. This, oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, that's Carlsbad. Where is it? It was 2 weeks ago. It's okay. I know we covered it already. Jonah wrote an article about it, so um, I won't get into it too much. I know y'all listeners already kind of have that information available to you, and excited for next week or this week coming up. It's getting closer to district, so we're going to be paying a little bit more attention to what's going on as we approach that. Excited to, I've talked to Centennial coaches. I've mentioned, talked to some of the Las Cruces high school coaches as well for baseball, and hopefully getting connected with more folks so that we can get to know not only how the games are going, but just the mindset. Same way I pick your brain about, how do you guys prepare for stuff. You want to be able to have that kind of stuff ready to go. A cool announcement: I just bought a lot of equipment for both softball and baseball. And what I want to do is create some segments where we actually look at bats, look at different situations that I can bring in live game film and kind of talk about an at bat, one of what was the mindset of a pitcher and a batter, and when there's a bunch of foul balls and stuff. So, what I'm going to be doing is kind of picking the best at bats of certain games throughout the weeks and then bringing them in during the week and kind of breaking them down. So, hopefully, it doesn't extend more than an hour because I know people kind of talk or will click and choose what we're talking about and go that way. But I want to make sure it's not too long of an episode. So maybe I make another one. I don't know. If you're listening to this, and go ahead and leave in the description or in the comment section a suggestion on, should I separate those types of things? Should I break down some of the game film outside of just the regular 8 Mountain Echo? I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. The community can always decide. That's the beauty of this. We can just do whatever we want. So there's going to be some really cool stuff. I bought some equipment. I don't even want to say how much I spent on all the crap I got, but that's going to be really cool. Another reason why I bought that is because we're doing a live stream on a showcase. We're doing the Big Time Hoop Showcase, Javyn, and this is the second year that we do it. And Coach Matt Abney is the one who puts it on. It's going to be at Las Cruces High School on Friday and Saturday. He has a 3-point contest that happens there, that happens in the evening. And then he brings in, last year he had Molly Kaiser, and she gave a talk and was kind of going through the process of recruiting and do's and don'ts of what you should put in your game film. Do you know who Molly Kaiser is? Does that ring a bell? Okay.
No, I know.
No,
I
she
know.
was she's like a she was, I think, did she make All American? She was one of the best. She was a absolute stud for us for women's basketball. But I know that if she wasn't at the top, she was one of the top in 3-point shooting in the country. So she
Oh,
was a senior, so she doesn't play for us anymore. She's overseas playing. I can't remember what country, but it's outside of the U.S. So she's still playing now, but she was there. She visited with parents. Coach Abney actually had the parents show up for the kids and have her talk to the parents as well, because the kids are, it's going to go in one ear, go out the other, right? And so
right.
she sat there and let the parents ask questions and go through that process, because it's nerve wracking, of like, you don't want to make a bad decision. So we're going to be
Yeah.
doing some really exciting stuff for them. So a lot of media stuff that's still coming out. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say yet, because Coach Abney wants to keep some of the things under wrap of what we're doing, just because it might change the dynamic of everything. So just so you know, that's something that we're working on as well. So kind of creating some more buzz there. So excited to kind of continue to roll out all the cool stuff that we're doing. Javyn is another addition to the cool stuff that we're doing, because he has a different perspective from a different area. He is a coach now for football. He does all kinds of different stuff for basketball. So you're going to school, or you're getting a master's in, what was it,
Sports
so,
administration. Yeah.
sports administration. So
Yeah.
uh, you got to go check out our last podcast. We had a interview with David Derek
Oh,
Gonzalez. He's the director of
yeah.
development in athletics for the Sooner Club in Oklahoma, for the Sooners, Boomer Sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and he talked a lot about like the different jobs that you can have in athletics, and just the
Right.
awesome things that he's doing. And that's, I mean, that's similar to the stuff that I don't know if you want to be an athletic director or anything like it, but
Right.
he he is someone that kind of talks about if you have any questions about some of the things that you might want to do or whatever, that was an invitation that he had for everybody. So that's a new episode. If you're listening to this now, again, go check that one out as well. That was really cool. Uh, some cool connections. Another guy who graduated from NMSU. He talked about,
Yeah.
bro. I don't know if you remember where Del Rey is. Do you remember?
Hmm.
I mean, you
The
lived out here
street.
forever. Yeah, Del
Yeah.
Rey. Yeah, up in Del Rey.
Yeah.
He lived up in Del Rey.
Yeah.
He said one time the Aggies lost to UTEP, and he walked home. It's 8 miles, bro. I was like, what route did you take? How the hell did
Yeah.
you not get ran over?
He just went. He just went
he
all the way
he
around.
he went the underpass, so he took Travis, and then he went up Tell Shore, and then he made it out that way. But even then, dude, I'm like, that's crazy. Just hitch a ride. I don't know, but yeah, he was a cool conversation. So if you haven't tuned into that one, Javyn, or anyone else
Yeah.
listening,
No,
go
this-
ahead and check it out. That's cool. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you to NM Prepco Sports doing some great things. Jonah, we missed you. We'll see y'all next week.
yes, sir.